Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at this, which is the CRKT Seismic. Let me give you a real good look at the knife. This is new from CRKT this year, Flavio Coma design. I got mine with the black blade and the VEF serrations, as you can see. You can also get it in the satin finish as well. The thing that makes this stand out for this knife is their new Deadbolt locking system, which you can look on the CRKT site to get more of the breakdown of an actual knife. But essentially what you have here is that when the blade comes up and clicks in, you can hear that click. They're putting right through, let me get the light there, right through there, they're putting pins through this end of the, basically the butt end of the blade steel. So basically right underneath the jimping there, you're putting steel pins through the system. So it's not lining up on a liner lock, it's not falling into place in a frame lock. This thing is supposed to be extremely strong. So we're gonna use this thing. I've EDC'd it for a bit. It's not super beat up. I've used it on and off for EDC tasks, but we're gonna cut and we're gonna beat on this thing to see how strong it is. So it's a handsome knife. I mean, you can tell immediately as soon as you look at it, it's big. It's not for a lot of people as far as an everyday carry knife, but for a strong utility knife, I think this could be a blade that you're gonna be interested in. Let's do some real quick measurements here. I've got the measuring tape with me. Looking just a bit over 9¼ inches as far as your length, end to end. Let's look at the blade length here. So for the actual steel that makes up the blade, you're looking at about 5 inches. When you're looking at your cutting edge, I mean, it is curved, so you gotta always take that into account here. But as far as your cutting edge, you're looking at about 4 inches. And then let me close this up. We'll take a look at the handle real quick. Looking at about 5¼ inches. So, like I said, big, hefty, strong blade. I've used it to cut boxes. I've done some general EDC tasks with it. But let's start off and cut some rope. I've got some webbing, and then we'll move on to some wood. And then we're gonna actually, just to beat it up a little bit, we're gonna baton on this thing as well. Now, some people are gonna wanna know about the steel. It is what they call 1.4116 stainless steel. I have very little experience with it. I've used it a bit and it's held up well. We're gonna keep using it, obviously. And you can check other reviewers to see what their experience is with it. Cordage should be no problem, even for the unserrated portion of the blade. Yep, this is clothesline material here. So let me go 4 times over here just to give it a little bit more of a test. We're gonna try to stay away from the VEF serrations at this point, and then we'll move to them in a minute. So I got 3 out of the 4 pretty easily with that. Let me do this actually with the VEF serrations now. There's 4 with the VEF serrations helping out. Gotta bunch these up a little bit here. So here's 4 for clothesline using the VEF serrations. Yeah, and that just shreds through it. I don't know if you've ever used VEF serrations before. Serrations in general, people say good for cutting rope and stuff, but the VEF serrations are beastly. I actually wouldn't mind. They've got basically 3 there. I wouldn't mind if they put another one and put 4 on there. But obviously cordage, no problem for this knife. Try a little webbing here. Webbing, just by the way that it's flat instead of round, may have, just bring out some different challenges or strengths of a knife. So we'll try it on the smooth portion first. No problem with that. Let's double it over. So I'm actually not putting it side by side. I'm actually making it 2-ply. And we'll try it without the VEF serrations again. Yep, no problem there. Let's do it 3 times over, and we'll try it with the VEF serrations. So setting up on the serrations there. And again, no problem whatsoever. All right, we'll do a little carving here with this wood. And this is pine, so it's a softer wood. It's definitely super easy to carve it up, to cut it. Look at that, actually got some wood caught up on it. I made that sound like that was some amazing thing, just telling you what happened actually. So, yeah, I mean, there you go. Easy to carve some wood with the Seismic. The mandatory feather stick carving, I mean, it does the job. This is not a knife I'm going to be out doing carving bowls and spoons and feather sticking for an hour. But if you had this as a a camping knife in the woods, it'll do it. If you get a good angle with the VEF serrations, actually, because it's like a tiny little blade there, that's basically a controlled size because of the curve. You can get some really fine curls. I did this mostly with just the unserrated portion of the blade. but you can actually use VEF serrations or serrations in general to get some really fine curls if you can basically get a good angle in the feather sticking process. I honestly don't know anybody who would want to chop with a folding knife unless you were in a really bad situation where you had to, but just to use it a little bit more aggressively, I got a dead piece of wood here that's been there for quite a while, it looks like, and we're going to do some chopping with the Seismic. Definitely not comfortable to hold it on the edge and, you know, really have to swing aggressively. It's just not built for that, but still going for it a little bit here. So I'll show you the blade here. None worse for the wear as far as your edge, no issues there. So we're gonna baton a little bit. The wood is pine, but it has a lot of branches coming out, so you're gonna have a lot of knots in there. So we'll just give the Seismic a little bit more work to do here. Obviously, it's on a massive blade, but we'll see what we can accomplish. That's our first test. Flip this around a little bit. Seems to be doing okay with that. Let's baton to baton now. Alright, still going here. Broke up kind of easy. Alright, so the blade continues to be doing just fine as far as the edge. No rolls, no dings, no dents. I do think there's a little bit of blade play. You probably can't hear it, but this way, side to side, yeah, I can feel a little bit of movement there. And then this way, you can, I just want to make sure I don't cut myself, but you can probably hear it on camera. But I would say in general for a folding knife, this is overkill. Definitely I would call it a hard use utilitarian EDC knife, but this is a little bit more aggressive than I would normally use a knife. But hey, I mean, this thing is supposed to be big and beefy and strong with this new Deadbolt system, so I wanted to test it out and show you guys what it looks like to do that. All right, here we go. Definitely beaten up. I really need a vise out here in the woods, but let's try it another way here. Let's see if we can tap this in to this tree. Here. Nope. Okay, as you can see, what I've done is I've taken the Seismic and I've pounded it into this tree. I mean, it's probably 1.5 inches in there, maybe. I wish I had a hammer just to like beat on the end of this thing to get into the tree, but I had to use a baton that I have out here in the woods. But anyhow, I'm gonna step back and just wail on the handle to see if we have any issue with the deadlock or deadbolt system. Still locked up. Let's try it again here. All right, so let's talk about the knife a little bit. First thing I can tell you is that it seems like the deadbolt system is really strong. I think in general, a liner lock or a frame lock compared to a system that goes basically through the steel on the blade, generally speaking, I think that's going to be a stronger lockup because you've got to basically shear off a piece of metal as opposed to just have a liner or a frame slip one way or the other out of the way. So yeah, I mean, that's definitely, it seems like quite a strong system. Now again, if I put this in a vise and just started hanging weights on it or bashing it with a hammer, I don't have the technological capabilities to measure force like that at my house. But just in the testing, I mean, you can see this thing's kind of a mess now. Definitely used and beaten up, but it's held up nicely. Tiny little bit of blade play this way. Probably can't even see it, I don't know if you can. And then the same thing here, you can hear that sound of the clicking. So that's, and I mean, it's like millimeters, maybe not even a millimeter, so a tiny little bit there. But locked up good and strong. If you're somebody who needs a strong utilitarian knife that's big and hefty, this one seems to be one that's gonna hold up to it. Again, I can't talk to the stainless steel, but we don't have any dings or divots. Looks really good. The handle is comfortable. I would say with a pair of gloves, it would be even more comfortable. Right here on the edges, a lot of knife companies don't take the time to round those out. I'm sure there's a reason. Maybe it's for even more grip. Maybe just because it's timely to do that and it costs, you know, money to, for every amount of effort you put into refining a knife, it costs you more money. So that's a little bit, if I was gonna be, you know, slicing with this thing with no gloves on for a long time, that would get a little bit uncomfortable, but I would, you know, throw on a pair of gloves and I think you'd be good to go. So yeah, the CRKT Seismic, good looking, big, utilitarian, aggressive use knife, and I've liked it, and I'm gonna keep testing it out here and let you know a little bit more about it in the future. I'll throw some pictures up on Instagram, maybe a couple of these clips from this video up on Instagram so you can see me using it pretty aggressively as well. Price point for it is going to be right around $100. It's like $103 on Amazon at the time of this video for the non-VEF serrations version, and then the one with the VEF serrations I think is $108 at the time of this video. So, man, the bugs are just coming in. So that's your price point for it. Let's hear your thoughts on price point, value, you know, what you would use it for, if you would EDC it, if you wouldn't. Yeah, and let's get that conversation started in the discussion section. Thanks as always for watching the videos, guys. Really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to Everyday Tactical Vids, please subscribe. Click that little red subscribe button, and then click the bell as well so you get notifications when new videos come up. We're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well, so check us out there. And as always, I got more videos coming soon. Take care.